You guys, these puff pastries that I've started making recently are probably one of my favorite things to make, just because they're so easy and they're yummy, and you can like fluctuate the sweetness level if you want. But anyways, let's get into it. They're just frozen berries. You can choose any berries that you want, but I love blackberries. So I got a frozen bag of blackberries from the grocery store, put them in some water in a pot, added a little bit of agave. You can add any type of sweetener that you want, but I added some just raw agave into the mix and just let it simmer on low. Because we're doing a lot of assembling, you don't want to make it too mushy to where it becomes just like a mush. So just keep it on low, keep an eye on it, make sure you're stirring it. You want to make sure that the berries are nice and tender, that the juice has made it a little bit of a thicker consistency, like you can see while I'm spreading on the pastry. And it can't be too watery either. The first batch that I made, it was a little more watery. This is actually the first batch, so I'll show you guys the second one. But the first batch was a little more watery in the inside, which I learned makes the pastry not cook as evenly throughout. So just be mindful of the amount of filling that you're putting in and the amount of moisture that you're keeping in. So just what I'm saying is like cook down more of the water if you're having any fruit that has like a more watery consistency. I added some goat cheese. This was a recipe that I actually found online that was using goat cheese. And because I'm dairy free, I was like, wait, is this dairy or not? Like, I don't know. I was a little confused, but it's not dairy because it's not from a cow. So I found some goat cheese crumbles at Ralph's in the cheese section, and I just put those right on top. Just a thin layer of the blackberries, then the goat cheese, and just like I hand sprinkled it, just as much as your preference. This is actually like a perfect amount for me. At this point, you can actually add any other toppings if you want. If you want to add some sugar, some like almonds or any type of nuts on the inside, you can do that as well, or you can trade it in for a different type of cheese. Or no cheese at all, whatever you like. I had to do a trial and error with this because I was trying to figure out how to get the actual puff pastry off of the parchment paper that it came with, and I didn't think to like loosen it before. So this was the avenue I went with, just flipping it. So be careful with your filling. If you are confident in your flipping ability, go for it. But this was just the option that I took. Gonna go ahead and take a pizza slicer. If you have a knife, that works too, but I had a pizza slicer, so that's what I used. That's what she used in the video too that I saw. Sorry for the motorcycle in the background, you guys. My window's open. Anyways, go ahead and twist into the twisting shape. Now, this was the fun part, but I did realize that the more filling you have in it, like the ones on the outside, it's gonna come out a little bit. So just twist fast. Like, don't take your time. Just be confident in your twisting ability. Twist it, put it down on the parchment paper, and let it sit. I promise you it's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall out, but you just have to be confident and just like stick with it, do it. It's going to be messy, so I just kind of like rinse my hands in between. At this point, you would have some either melted butter or you could just have a spray Pam or something. I usually use a vegan butter, but I have some dairy-free butter that I have already melted, and then I'm going to dust on the top of the twists while they're still raw before I put them in the oven, just so they can get like a little bit of like a crispy texture. And here we are with the end result, y'all. I ended up actually putting these in the oven a couple more minutes because, as you can see, a little bit of the dough in the thicker ones, the ones that have more filling, it was cooked, but not to my liking. So this took about 23 to 24 minutes. I would add another like 4 or 5 minutes of cooking. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure you don't burn anything, but bon appetit. You guys, these are fire. I had these as an appetizer and as like an appetizer dessert for Christmas. So